Alright guys, so before I start talking about this big, huge, monumental, groundbreaking news that was released this week, that Spider-Man will be joining the Avengers, I want to actually bring to your attention that on March 28th, I will be actually re-reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's been almost a year since I last reviewed that movie to very, very high standard. I really, really liked that movie when it came out, but opinions have changed, and I may not be as warm to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as I once was. My opinion has, I think, matured, and I will explain that in my Amazing Spider-Man 2 1 year later re-review, whatever you want to call it, on March 28th. So stay tuned for that, and enjoy the show. I'm on my way home, Aunt May. I promise. This week, Sony and Marvel basically blew up the internet with the news that they will be collaborating on Spider-Man joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, that's news that everybody's been talking about for a long time. People have been hoping it would happen, wondering if it would happen, if Sony would just give the rights back to Marvel, or if they would kind of collaborate and enter Spider-Man into this fantastic cinematic universe that Marvel have created. And we got the news that Spider-Man will actually be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and everybody went crazy, and I was very, very, very excited when I heard the news. And then I read kind of the press release that wasn't released by Sony, saying that they will have full creative control. And while I do think that this will be a positive thing, that we will get to see Spider-Man swinging alongside the Avengers, fighting whatever threat may occur in the future, there are some negatives that I think both Sony and Marvel have to overcome before this can be an amazing, heart-pounding, fantastic idea. And I've got a list of some of these things, and number one, I think the big one has to be that Sony has full creative control. That in that press release they stated that Sony will basically be the decider. Marvel will have ideas, and they'll pitch to Sony, and Sony will basically have the final say on what Spider-Man does, on what their new rebooted movie is going to be. Marvel's just going to be a creative consultant in a way, or Kevin Feige is. But this is kind of a negative because we have seen what Sony has done to Spider-Man in the last couple of years. They've done it multiple times. This is a negative, but it could turn into a positive. Sony with the hack, I don't think this would be happening at all. They wouldn't even be thinking about collaborating with Marvel at all if the hack didn't happen. And I think they would be very, very silly, or look very, very silly, to not listen to Kevin Feige, who has created this fantastic cinematic universe at Marvel. So I hope that Kevin Feige has enough power to say no to all of the stupid decisions that Sony will probably inevitably make, or try to make. It sounds like a negative, but I hope it will be turned into a positive, with hopefully Kevin Feige getting enough power to say no to some of their things they want to do. Another negative is, does this mean we're getting another Spider-Man reboot? And unfortunately, it does. In their press release, Sony announced that Spider-Man will be showing up, a new rebooted Spider-Man will be showing up in a Marvel property somewhere between this year and 2017, which is very, very soon. By the way, my life is nearly over. And it will be a different Spider-Man to Andrew Garfield, to Tobey Maguire. The Amazing Spider-Man series has basically been canned, Andrew Garfield, no longer Spider-Man, Emma Stone, everybody is out on those movies. This is a new Spider-Man. And that one negative I think that could come out of it is, okay, does that mean we're going to see an origin story again? I hope not. The way this could be turned into a positive is we don't see an origin story if he's already Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was just a huge rehash of the same origin story from the Raimi films. Complete, like, not really even much new to add, and what they had to add new really sucked really badly. So I don't want to see another origin story. We've seen it twice. Let's do something different. Maybe even have Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Now, I can't see that happening, at least not for a while, but just do something different with Peter Parker, the character. Make him an ultra nerd, or, just make him, I don't know, more interesting. Not to say I don't like the Peter Parker character, but I still don't want to see the same old thing over and over again. I want something new with his Peter Parker. Something I trust Marvel to do. But since Sony is still involved in this, I'm kind of worried. So please, Feige, please have enough power to say no. I hope you do. And another negative is kind of, it's important, I guess. The fact that Spider-Man will be joining in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, well, how much is he taking away from characters I'm more excited to get to know? We've seen Spider-Man twice, and not that I don't like him. I mean, the Raimi movies have huge nostalgic value for me, but we've seen Spider-Man and what he can do twice, so I just hope he doesn't have so much attention that he takes away from characters we haven't seen, and I'm kind of more interested to seeing, like, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. I'm more excited to see them than Spider-Man again, especially if it's going to be the same old thing. But these could all be turned into a positive by doing exactly the opposite thing that I said not to. But I do think this will overall be a positive, because I do trust Marvel, and I trust Marvel will hopefully be able to steer Sony right in this decision, because we're going to get to see Spider-Man and the Avengers as a thing now. And that is super, super exciting. As a fan of both series, as a fan of the characters in both series, how excited would you be? How excited am I to see Spider-Man, maybe, like, hitting villains with the Hulk, which is what we will see, because this movie Sony's creating, and the fact that he will show up in the cinematic universe probably more than once, that's probably what we will see at one point, is so blood-pumping and exhilarating. I'm very, very excited for this. I just hope they don't do some of these negatives I listed out, or at least turn them into a positive. I want to see something new. I want to see Marvel try to steer Sony away from dumb creative decisions. If Sony has creative control, then I hope Marvel has enough power to say no to some of their things they want to come up with. I don't care about Peter Parker's parents. I don't care about the mystery surrounding that. And also, please, Sony, please, just have a plan as to what you want to do in the future. Is it Sinister Six? And know who's going to be in the Sinister Six. Who the hell is the guy in the hat? Which doesn't relate at all anymore. That series is done. And I have to say, thank you. Thank you. As much as I might have liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2, you know what, a lot of things have happened in the last couple of months that have changed my opinion on the series as a whole and that movie. I don't hate the movie, though, which you will see in my re-review. I think it has a lot of good qualities, but I also think it has a lot of bad. So stick around for that, but overall, Marvel and Sony working together to bring Spider-Man to this cinematic universe is really, really exciting. I'm so happy.